Hello there folks, welcome to the Tech Battle, and today we're going to look at a noise cancelling headphone, Bose QuietComfort 35 Series 2 to be exact. Few are long name, but that's what it says on the box. So you buy an ANC headphone if you want to get away from the sounds of your environment, your daily hustle and bustle, maybe you're commuting. Or more realistically nowadays, just want to drown out the nagging sounds from all the noise in your house, washing machine, kids watching the same show for the 50th time, or just plain avoiding your family members, I tried that once with mine. As a responsible YouTuber, of course I did. They work to some extent, but let's just say the payoff is not as substantial enough for what could come next. And here in this video, we'll try and evaluate if they are still good value for your money. And I will use Sony XM3s as my reference for this video because that's what I'm used to. Depending on the region you are in, Bose QC35-2s can be had for anything between 170 to 200 odd bobs, roughly 30 to 40 bucks cheaper than the equivalent Sony XM3s. Looking at the box, you see this headphone case, which looks quite solid. It should give you decent protection by the looks of it. Inside you have the headphone, and then you also get the headphone wires as well as the USB charging cable, which is micro USB. It's a shame because USB-C is the bee's knees. The headphone build is quite solid and feels quite sturdy in your hand. I can see why it lasts so long if you take decent care of it. The headband has decent cushioning around it, and the material I think is Alcantara, so it should be quite comfortable on your head even if you're the type which lacks some of the natural cushioning up top. And the grip on the ear is adequate. I mean, it's not too hard or too tight, unlike Sony XM3s. I mean, the Sony XM3s are not very tight. Both of them are comfortable though. Adjustment of the size is quite smooth. The band here has a metal middle flanked by plastic on top and bottom, but overall it feels quite sturdy. Ear cups can be rotated and also fold inwards for easy storage. The ear pads on them are quite good as well. They're nice, soft and very comfortable. So you should be able to use them for long continuous sessions. Compared to Sony XM3s, the material for the padding is different definitely, but they're both comfortable. Over time they will definitely make your ears hot. But that's true for any ANC headphone due to their closed back design, as keeping the sound out is the most important feature for these headphones. Otherwise the fit for me at least was perfectly fine with the ear cup sitting nicely over my ears. And if it fits on my irregular lumpy head, I don't think it should be a problem for most of you. The speaker cover over here inside the ear cups is covered in a mesh-like material with large indicators for left and right, which should be easily readable if you're in a well-lit room, but because they're black and black, if it's a dark environment, then you will struggle to read them. The material is a bit rough, but your ears will almost never touch them, so should not be a problem for most. These are thinner as well compared to XM3s, so which should help with air circulation and keep your ears cooler for longer. So the build is mostly plastic. It feels very solid. It doesn't feel cheap at all, but it's not premium either. I will class it more as, what's the word here, very workmanlike. That is very good for its intended use case, very functional but not polished enough by today's standard. Also, if you're someone who enjoys physical buttons rather than using gestures and touch controls, then you will love them. No sight of any gesture-based control or touch buttons here. So I used to daily drive XM3s some time back, so coming to this took me some time to adjust, especially to the physical buttons, but once you're used to it, then it becomes second nature almost. So you have the button over here on the right ear cup, which you should press right to turn the headphones on, and then right again to get into the Bluetooth pairing mode. It's not as intuitive as some of the other systems you have in headphones, but once you know it, it's alright. On the right ear cup again, you have the previous and the forward button, which flank this button in the middle. If you click it once, it will pause the track. If you double tap, it will play the next song, and tapping it thrice will take you to the previous track. You also have the charging slot here on the right ear cup next to the Bluetooth indicator and the power indicator. On the left ear cup, there is a headphone jack for wired listening, and yes, you can listen to them wired with active noise cancellation turned on at the same time, but no, you cannot use them while they're charging. One of the most common questions you get asked. You also have this new button in the left ear cup, which you can configure to be used with Google Assistant or Alexa, or if you leave it unconfigured, you can use it to toggle the noise cancellation level. Mind you would need your Bose Connect app to complete the pairing playing of the headphone with your phone. The app itself is quite simple and easy to use, but it is quite lacking in feature as well. Does not give you much in the way of customization. The most it gives you is to select the level of noise cancellation, no pass-through or sound profile selection here. I tested it with the Google Assistant for my setup and it worked fine for me. You can use Apple Siri, but you can't use the button on the left ear cup. You can set it up so that it uses this metal button in the right ear cup. Just something for you to note. Of course, you buy these headphones because you want noise cancellation, and these are very good at that. Almost at the same level as Sony XM series, if not better in certain situations. Neither of the Sony XM3s or Bose QC35-2s are better than other in a significant way. No complaints here, works very well in most of the situations. Moving on to the sound quality, the headphones sound very good, but you must note that the headphones only support AAC and SBC, so no support for aptX HD or LDAC codecs, which are supported in Sony XM3s, which is a bit of a bummer. Bose's sound signature is not for me. I prefer Sony XM3s, but if you are someone who likes Bose's sound signature, then you will definitely enjoy it. It has a very good bass response as well. Some might even call it bass heavy, but it's just not as tight as Sony XM3s. The mids and lows are quite clear and bright, but in some songs I found the lows suffered a bit and were a bit muffled. You can listen to almost any type of music on it, especially podcasts, blues, jazz, classical, at least some of them. It's quite good. Vocals come through very nicely in these headphones, so I will consider vocals as one of its strong points here. Again, at the end of it, it's a question of your personal preference. One thing to note though is that even at almost full volume, the sound did not distort by much, and it was able to still maintain very good sound clarity, which is quite good. Moving on to the microphones, the quality here is quite good, if not the best. Compared to XM3s, they are slightly better. Although the Sony XM3s have set the bar very low in this regard, so I might not be aiming very high here. Few things to note: if your voice is very heavy, then it will struggle to pick it up a bit. And also, if your background is very busy, the pickup definitely struggles, but not to the same extent as XM3s for whatever reason. Overall, they do the job okay in most of the scenarios. Battery wise, well, Bose claims up to 20 hours and I can see it lasting that long with conservative use. In my first test, I think it lasted around 14 hours, but that included the time I was playing around with them, listening to songs at high volume, setting it up, so that would have had an effect on the battery. But otherwise, 14 to 15 hours is what you're looking at. In my second test, it lasted just over 15 hours, unless you're a metalhead like some of my mates are playing with these at full blast all the time, and to them I ask, why do you need noise cancellation anyway? Otherwise, charging times are decent. Took me less than 3 hours to charge to full from its low of 7%. So yeah, works as advertised in that department. So, will I get these then if I just have enough to buy the Bose QuietComfort 35 series too? Well, me personally, I will probably save a little bit more of my lunch money, or even make some more by getting lunch from my home and selling it on, and go for XM3s, especially as I like the sound signature of the Sonys. Plus, I don't use the microphone that much. I actually ended up using the sound pass-through feature much more than I anticipated on the XM3s. Also, Bose don't support most of the newer codecs like aptX HD and LDAC, so if you're someone who can spot the difference between AAC and LDAC, then I will definitely advise you against getting this. Of course, all of this is assuming that you're playing the music from a high quality music file like a FLAC or similar. Most of us though cannot tell the difference, more so if you're listening to them while doing something else, or if you're playing music from streaming services like Spotify and Amazon Music. The Bose Connect app is also quite limited, doesn't give you much in the way of customization. You cannot change your equalizer or anything like that from there, so that's a bit of a downer. All that said, who is this headphone for? Well, if you're somebody who likes physical buttons, don't like gestures or touch buttons, then this is something you will enjoy. Also, if your priority is just getting the best sound and the noise cancellation for your money, and you don't care about all the ancillary features which others give you, then I would probably advise you to save your $50 and just go for Bose QC35-2s. You won't be disappointed. And with that, I will be ending the video right here, and as usual, I appreciate your time if you made it this far. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you like the video, and dislike if not, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.